All right, well, I'm just going to give a quick overview of a project that I'm starting on this coming year. I was asked to give a short presentation on it. It's a project that's been funded by the Virginia Soybean Board and the Virginia Ag Council. And basically the whole point of it is just to look at using new technologies to help us collect data out in the field, specifically for phenotypic data in soybeans, things such as plant height, plant lodging, pod color, maturity, things of that nature. Typically in the past, or currently as well as in the past, all of this data has been collected by individuals going out into the field with a measuring stick, measuring how tall the plots are, going through and rating plots for lodging, which that can be a very subjective rating. Pod color, believe it or not, can be a subjective rating as well as maturity when the pods have reached 95% maturity. All of those can be subjective ratings. Well, what you see as something that might be mature might be different than the way my eye sees it. So we're trying to streamline that. We're also trying to reduce the amount of time and personnel that's required to go out and collect this data. So I talked to Dr. Zhang and Dr. Abalota and Dr. Song Lee, who's in Blacksburg, about the four of us coming together on a project where we're using aerial imagery to help us collect some of this data. And like I said, this is the first year we're just starting on it here in the last week or so I don't have any data to show or anything. I'm just was asked to give a brief update on it. But main thing is, what we do, we go out 3 times a week and we rate all the soybean plots here for maturity and for pod color. Well, at the same time we're going out and rating those, we're also got the drone. We're flying those, collecting aerial images on all those. Well, not all the plots, but a select number of plots. And then those particular ones are going to be sent to Dr. Song Lee's lab. He's involved with some deep learning. He does some work like that in Blacksburg. So he's going to assess those images for pod color and things of that nature. So hopefully we can streamline the process and make it more standardized, where our images can tell us when the plant and is mature and what the pod color is. And secondly, Dr. Maria Belota, who's here, she's developed a protocol in peanut to determine plant height. It's been very successful, showed very good relationship in peanut. So we're also trying to use that same algorithm, the same process in soybean as well as small grain, but specifically for this project in soybean. So we'll be sending the images to her lab as well in order to assess them for to rate or to measure plant height and also measure lodging. And then ultimately those will all be compared, the plant height that is generated from the computer and the aerial images will be compared to manually measured plant height, lodging as well, and the same for maturity and pod color. So that's just a brief introduction to this project. For sake of time, that's all I'll say. Quickly, I'd like to ask Dr. Susan Duncan to come up and just give a brief update from the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. And then after that, I'll have Robert Harper come up from Virginia Farm Bureau. And then after that, we'll go on to lunch. So thank you. Not to cut you short, but.